Okay. Giving all honor and glory to Yahweh. Rashad, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in the truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing His truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous, diligent, on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient man. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Don Israel to me, Gad Warrior, Shalom King, Cedric Israel, We Got Next Israel, Mina Israel, Brother Kadai, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Right? I tried to kick this off a little bit earlier, but the sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. And when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their heart. But, this isn't going to be too long. I wanted to touch on a particular event that's going on in the land of the living now. And I titled this Through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, a title that's actually based off of a particular place that the Roman Emperor Tiberius would use for wickedness, child sacrifice, homosexuality, debauchery, confusion, and madness. And it's called Vila Jovis. Jovis on the island of Capri. Villa Jovis on the island of Capri. So a lot of people are surprised about this Epstein's list coming out. And I just want to give a few words on it. Some people are taken aback at the names that have been put out there as of late. There are household names. There are celebrities that people look up to. People believe in these celebrities. Man, they trust that these people are giving them, the right direction and guiding them in a way that they should go. There are CEOs, right? You have prime ministers, presidents, world leaders, globalist elites, bankers, right? Top financial analysts, rappers and musicians that are coming up on this list. And a lot of people are surprised. We're not surprised. We've been speaking about these things through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And now the world is beginning to see that the people that were labeled and deemed conspiracy theorists, or they were deemed conspiracy nuts, or deemed bug outs, or deemed sensationalists, they're finding out that that information that brothers have been putting out there, and we filter it through the precepts, right? We filter it through the precepts of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They're beginning to find out that what we've been putting out there is nothing but truth. They're beginning to see the concentration camps built, right? We went into that on the previous Shabbat service where ICE building these different warehouses that are going to be used for the men of the Lord. I mean, again, as of now, it's just illegal immigrants, they say, but that's just the front. That's the front. That's the political side. But the real side is they want to come after the servants of the Most High. People are confounded about this Epstein list. Oh, I couldn't believe Trump would do this. Or I couldn't believe that Jay-Z would do this. I couldn't believe that this guy would do this. Well, first of all, there is no new thing under the sun, right? There is no new thing under the sun. And I want to get that first and foremost. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 3. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and I want to read verse number 15, right? This is what we got to understand. It reads, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. So all those same spirits are back on the earth right now. Remember that this is the Roman Empire. You read about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, that John saw a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. And one of their heads were wounded as it were to death, and the deadly wound was healed. All the world wondered after the beast. Right? So that's the Roman Empire, whose headquarters is in America. America is an extension and a revised version of the Roman Empire. Now, I titled this Villa Jovis because the Roman Empire did the exact same thing that you're seeing going on with Epstein in this list. Tiberius Caesar, who was the Caesar during the reign of Yahushua, was known. He was very well known by the elites of his day, top politicians in the Senate, right? Top councils of the Roman Republican Empire, or rather the empire, rather. His top wise men, he was known for having his own island and having his own different events of debauchery, lewdness, and freakism. And all of your top gladiators, all of your top musicians, all of those top men that ran the Circus Maximus, your top host of different Coliseum events and, governors, all those men were there. All those men were there. So there's no new thing under the sun. And I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to touch on that in brevity, right? I'm going to touch on what was going on in ancient Rome and kind of what you see going on today. Like I said, this isn't going to be too long, but I wanted to give, my 2 cents and filter through the precepts about what you see going on. This 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, right? Let me get this lock here. I want Second Thessalonians. Bear with me. I got to type this out. Chapter 2. This 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Right? So who's the son of perdition? Esau, the so-called white man. And the Most High is telling you through the Spirit that Yahushua is not going to return until the world understands who's the man of sin, who is the number one murderer on the earth, who is responsible for enslaving the minds of the people, who's responsible for putting the nations in debt, who's responsible for all of the child trafficking, all of the organs going up missing, all of the lands being destroyed, all of the people being enslaved. Who's responsible for this, man? For polluting the air, destroying the water, enslaving the Israelites. Before Yahushua returns, the Most High is going to reveal all of these wicked, dark deeds in secret that these elites and these powers have been doing. And you're seeing it going on right now, man. The Most High is revealing these different things. So you can begin to understand who your enemy is. So you can begin to understand that this society is not for you, that this is a demonic, corrupt, cannibalistic, sorcery-filled, witchcraft, murderous society backed on usury, extortion, and disrealize. The people not in the truth, and they're beginning to shake their head at these things. You got people in the truth, they starting to unfollow these celebrities. They're making posts about it. I didn't believe that, this rapper would be involved in this, or not my president and, not my prime minister, my CEO wouldn't do this. People are, even in the world, are beginning to look at the world with a different perspective, And we've been seeing this, man. Right? Let me know if you can hear me. Right? Let me know if you can hear me. Right? Let me know if you can hear me. All praise to the Most High. Lord willing. Right? Lord willing, brothers can hear me. Okay, all right. All praise to the Most High. All right, let's continue. So let's read 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember, yea, not when I was yet with you, I told you these things. So the so-called white man fancies himself a God, right? Through his medicine, his education, his wisdom, his religion, his health, right? The iconoclasm, the Renaissance art. He fancies himself the Most High. His satellites, his biometrics, his tracking, his control. He fancies himself with power like the Most High, right? Let's jump down. 2 Thessalonians chapter, actually I'm going to read on. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 6. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. So he's been revealed. Now you can't say that It's a conspiracy that world elite powers and prime ministers and CEOs and musicians are into illuministic sacrifice. We've been saying that. It's been out there, but now it's on the forefront. And this stuff is sick, man, that you see in these files. Pictures and videos and, you know, and all of the famous people of the world, they're involved in it. The Most High is showing you that this society is corrupt. It's full of corruption and confusion. That's like the final straw. What more do you have to see to begin to understand that every politician is compromised? Every rapper, every celebrity, every musician, every prime minister, every president is bribed, they're compromised, they're involved in secret, corrupt societies of child sacrifice, cannibalism, witchcraft, sorcery, madness, debauchery, murder. What more do you have to see? What more does the Most High have to show you? He said he's going to be revealed in his time. Let's read on 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So Paul said that the mystery of iniquity is already working. See, one is mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth. And America runs in a clandestine fashion. You know, they come off as if they're here to save the world and give people medicine and cure you of cancer and give you schools and give you banks and give you Walmarts and civilize you. But they're really corrupting the earth. See, Paul said the mystery of iniquity doth already work. So there was already heavy sins and heavy corruption within the Roman Empire. Paul knew what we know about America. What we know about America and what they call conspiracy theorists, Paul knew it was a fact about ancient Rome. They were the mystery of iniquity that was already working, right? And the Most High said he's going to let them work and be evil until the Most High take them out of the way. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. I'm going to read that again. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the Most High is going to destroy the wicked, and he's going to reveal him. Everything you see going on now is biblical prophecy. You have people saying, well, they're threatening Trump. People are saying that these Amalekites are threatening Trump to attack Iran. If he doesn't attack Iran, they're going to release videos. And, you know, regardless, it's of the Most High. Yahweh Ba'ashmi Shai is exposing these things. He revealeth the things in the darkness. Through the second chapter. God. That's in Deuteronomy 29 and 20, which are revealed belonging to us and to our children forever, that we may observe and do all the words of this law. Let's get another quick precept. Like I said, this isn't going to be too long. I just wanted to touch on what's going on. Something from an article, right? This is Nahum chapter 3 and verse number 5, right? Nahum 3 and 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. So that's another precept about the Most High exposing the secrets of the society. Right? He said, I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. He's revealing the things that are supposed to be private. Your skirt covers, a woman's skirt covers her private area. It's a secret. That's only for her future husband, you know, or her husband if she's married. If anybody sees her secret parts, then that's a shame to her. See, America has done so many things in a wicked, secretive fashion. And it's all being revealed by the Most High. And the Lord is using the prophets, apostles. He's using evangelists, the ministers, even whistleblowers. Even other Edomites got spirit. The Most High got spirits on them. And they're doing videos and they're tweeting and putting posts out there about what's going on. So the Most High is revealing this devil and showing you his hand. So we can understand that this is a corrupt kingdom and we need the Most High. I mean, we need the Most High so bad, man. I was looking at some of that stuff. I'm like, man, we have to get up out of here. This place has to go. The Lord said that the nations are seeing their nakedness. If I'm not mistaken, even Putin, he was on an interview and he said that the West are full of cannibalistic demons. He pretty much said that. They eat flesh and they sacrifice to Satan. Putin said that. He's an Edomite. He said that. So everybody knows that this society in the West is full of corruption and murder. Oh, Epstein list. Why is my favorite celebrity on there? That's not him. That's AI. No, that is him, huh? Hey, it is what it is. Oh, Trump wouldn't do that. Oh, not Bill Gates, not Bill Clinton. Hey, look, man. You be a fool to think that these people wear a suit and tie and they have your best interest at heart. These guys are murderers, demons, the secret cabal of wickedness and confusion. But it's biblical prophecy. We're going to filter it through the Bible. The Most High said that he's going to lift up their skirts and show the kingdoms thy nakedness and their shame. The world is seeing what's really going on in America. Nobody's coming to America anymore. Visas are at an all-time low. Tourism is at an all-time low. The birth rate is at an all-time low. America is done. It's finished. It's finished. Let's go to Isaiah 47. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. Right? Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Yeah, in America, they're no longer called tender and delicate. They're no longer looked at as a God-based country full of morals and ethics. You know, we have the internet, we have AI, and the Most High gave us technology. The Lord said, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So you got artificial intelligence, you got chat, you got all these different bots that's bringing up information, and you got cameras, and, you know, everything's coming to light. Everything's coming to light. And America's no longer looked at as a virgin kingdom. They're being looked at as a monstrous, demonic kingdom ran by spiritual powers in high places, actual demons. You know, the facade of America's changed, and their influence is no longer as great as it was, you know, during the 1940s and 50s and 60s. Their influence is fading away. Right? Let's read on. Isaiah chapter 47 and 2. Take the mills and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So all of their nakedness is seen. I mean, it's out there. The cat is out the bag. The cat is out the bag. Vila Jovis on Capri Island is being revealed. It's being revealed. It's all over. Now, I'm going to read a little bit because I had this information. We touched on this before. This is Tiberius Island of Capri. Vila Jovis. Look this up. You brothers on your own time, look it up. Tiberius, again, let me get Luke 3 and 1. He was the emperor during the days of Yahushua, right? During Yahushua's ministry. And Tiberius Caesar was known for having his own Epstein Island. He had his own Epstein Island, but it was called Vila Jovis Capri Island. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you some of the things that were going on this guy's island. Now, this guy might be this Epstein guy back on the earth, right? So check out the disgusting things and lewd things that these devils were doing in ancient Rome on this secret island. But first, let's read Luke 3 and 1. Luke chapter 3 and verse 1. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod, tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip, tetrarch of Iturea, and of the region of Trachonitis, and Lysanias, the tetrarch of Albaline. So this was the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar when Yahweh Shah was on the scene, right? Around that time. Now I'm going to read about Tiberius Caesar. So Salaki, bear with me. This says historical proof, right? Tiberius on the island of Capri. Now, what I typed in is Tiberius Lewd Island. Because I couldn't remember his name. So I typed in with the name of the island. So I typed in Tiberius Lewd Island. Now check this out. From 26 to 37 AD, Roman Emperor Tiberius famously retired to the island of Capri, abandoning the administration of the empire in Rome to his advisors. This was called the perversion place. I'm going to read that again. The perversion place. See, you got Jay-Z, Bush, Clinton, politicians, musicians, rappers, world powers. They were doing that in ancient Rome. Instead of Epstein Island, it was Capri Island. Right? And instead of Trump, it was Tiberius. So check this out. It was called the Perversion Palace. Because like Epstein had that palace, the Roman emperor, he had his own palace. Right? Let's read this. The Perversion Palace. On Capri, Tiberius is allegedly, by ancient historians like Suetonius, to have engaged in extreme, sadistic, and sexual depravity at his Vila Jovis. So on the island of Capri, in the mansion called Vila Jovis, Tiberius engaged in extreme, not regular, extreme, sadistic, and sexual depravity at his palace, his Vila Jovis. Right, let's read on. Allegations. Accounts claim he trained young children. I'm gonna read that again. This is Tiberius. This is the Roman emperor. He trained young children, he called them little fish, to sexually fondle him in bath, forced aristocratic women into prostitution, and invented tortures where he would tie ligatures around victims' genitals to prevent urination. So this guy was off, man. He was off. I have to read this. Due to his behavior, he was referred to as an old goat. Right? Now, it says, I'm going to read this. This is what Suetonius said about Tiberius. This is from Livius.org. Suetonius on Tiberius' sex life. So if you got kids in the room, they got to leave the room. All right? They got to leave the room. So check this out. On retiring to Capri, he devised a pleasance for his secret orgies. Teams of wantons of both sexes, selected as experts in deviant intercourse, and dubbed analysts, copulated before him in triple unions to excite his flagrant passions. Its bedrooms were furnished with the most salacious paintings. Like Epps had all those paintings. Tiberius had those paintings. He has to be him back on the earth. Its bedrooms were furnished with the most salacious paintings and sculptures, as well as with an erotic library. In case a performer should read, it's like it should need an illustration of what was required. Then in Capri's woods and groves, he arranged a number of nooks and a venery where boys and girls were soliciting outside. So he was freaking out in the woods and the gardens. Now, here's one of the worst parts, right? I got to bring this out. I know why you're bringing that out. You know, we got to bring it out because there's no new thing under the sun. Rome fell because of wickedness like this. And the Most High said when in Psalms 12 and 8, when the wicked men are exalted, when the vilest men are exalted, the wicked walk on every side. The Lord said in 1 Samuel 24, wickedness proceeded from the wicked. As the judges, so are his officers in Sirach 10 and 1. So if the Roman centurions, the top politicians, they were all like this because this is how Tiberius lived. This is how he lived. Now check this out. This is madness right here. He required a reputation for still grosser depravities that one can hardly bear to tell or be told, let alone believe. For example, he trained little boys to crawl between his thighs when he went swimming and tease him with their licks and nibbles. Yeah, Bob says something like that. He liked the little kids to go in the pool and touch his hair, right? That's what Biden said. So this guy Tiberius Caesar, on his own island, he trained little boys to crawl between his thighs when he went swimming and tease him with their licks and nibbles. Unweaned babies, he would put to his organ through his breast. To the breast. So he was dealing with children, being by both nature and age rather fond of dissatisfaction. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. Hey, but this guy was doing a lot of lewd things on his island, man. You know, he was doing a lot of lewd things. That's called Capri Island. His villa was Villa Jovis. So people are marveled at Epstein, are marveled at, why would he do this? And because they've always done this. That's why. They've always been into lewd debauchery, witchcraft, sorcery, child sacrifice. This is nothing new. These things were done by Tiberius, by the elites of the ancient Roman Empire. He had his own island of freak-offs and murders and child sacrifice and prostitution. So these things were going on back then, and we know for a surety that they're going on now. They have been revealed. Right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse number 23. Right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and 23. For whilst they slew their children as sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. So they have secret ceremonies in ancient Canaan. They Canaanites. And they were doing it now. Right? Slaying children, worship to Baal. These are spiritual wickedness in high places and the most high of these things. We got to get up out of here, man. That's why it's important to repent, throw up curses on this kingdom, pray for their destruction, come back to the Most High, be diligent and steadfast, because, this society has nothing to offer. You want to be successful, you're going to have to be connected with one of these elites, one of these powers. Fly out to these islands, be into these freak-offs, and, sell your soul. We want to bow down to the Most High. We don't want to bow down to the system, man. Everything about this society is corrupt. Right? Everything's corrupt. Let's read on. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and I'm going to read 23 again. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. So they had revelings, which are parties and events with strange sacrifices. The ancient Canaanites did that. The Greeks did that. The Egyptians did that. All of these heathen empires, they do that. America does that. America is not a God-fearing, Christian, moral-based nation full of ethics. It's a nation full of crime and murder, right? The Lord said, then shall that wicked be revealed. So we have to do lessons like this too. Yeah, we go into lessons about, prophecy, with, current events, the laws and exhortation and breakdowns, but we also have to reveal this society for who they are. The Lord said there is nothing hidden that shall not be revealed, neither secret that shall not be made known, paraphrasing. Luke 12 and 2, Luke 8 and 17. So the Spirit is on us at times to speak on these things, just to constantly reaffirm our people that this is not our rest. Right? Let's read our Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, and verse number 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. So it was the will of the Most High to raise up Joshua and Caleb and other men to destroy those Canaanites, right? That's what Wisdom of Solomon 12 is talking about, how we colonized the land of Canaan. And that was the will of the Most High. And the Lord allowed us to do that because those Canaanites were wicked. It wasn't for our righteousness, but for the wickedness of those nations. The Lord always affirms that, right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 and verse 4. Whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. So the Lord destroyed the Canaanites and he hated them for that because they did most odious works of witchcrafts and sacrifices. So how does God love America if America is doing the same thing, the same damn thing to the T? They have not deviated from what the ancient Canaanites did. God hated them for those things, and the Most High destroyed them for that. What do you think the Most High is going to do to America? What do you think he's going to do to this place? Why do you think the economy is crashing? The world is turning against this society. The Israelites are waking up. All signs lead to this place being completely destroyed. You know? And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's very soon. The Lord hated them for doing most odious works of witchcrafts. Let's read on. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. And all them blacks for Trump. What did he have to say about the Epstein files? Remember, I don't know if you brothers remember that you had blacks for Trump. They had the MAGA hats on. They had the red on. They was out there with signs. They had gold chains on. You had Trump Jordans. Trump released Jordans. Some damn shoes, man. Jake was buying the shoes. Trump can't do his wrong. You had the Eve saving Trump at that event. Where are they at now? Where they at now, man? All of the Epstein files are out of this guy freaking off with children doing God knows what. They've been silent. They haven't heard a peep. You know? So they're not going to make it. If they don't repent and come back to the Most High, all them blacks from Trump, they're going to be destroyed for loving their oppressor. Even the Lord checked Jehoshaphat and said, do you love the ungodly? You want to help the ungodly and hate and love those who hate the Lord? Trying to help out the wicked. So if you want to help out the wicked, you're not going to make it. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 4, one more time. Whom thou hatest for most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and feast of blood. And that was going on in Vila Jovis on Capri Island. Again, I'm not going to read you every detail, but on that island, you read about the child sacrifice, the murders, the homosexuality. All of the things on this Epstein list is reincarnated from Capri Island, Vila Jovis of the Roman emperor. And he would freak off with the world elites and the governors, the top musicians, top gladiators, and the top people of that time. And they were doing sacrifices, murdering children, and eating flesh of man. They had feast of blood. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 and verse number 6. With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. So you can't get around that. They killed souls destitute of help. So everything you see coming out is the nakedness of America being revealed. This is part of the prophecy. See, remember, for every event that you see going on in the earth that's a major global event that concerns America or geopolitics in whole, you have to find that in the Bible. You have to ask yourself this question. Where is this prophecy in the Bible? Where can I find this judgment in the Bible? And you're going to find out that what's going on with Epstein and what's going on with these celebrities and these musicians and rappers and these people that men look up to, that this is the prophecy of, part of it rather, It's just a small part of America still being revealed for being the wicked. Isaiah 47, Nahum 3 and 5. Right? One of my favorites in Habakkuk. Let me get this in Habakkuk, the second chapter, where the Most High says, shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right? Let me get this in Habakkuk chapter 2. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse number 16. Right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse number 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And America did have glory. This was a very, in the eyes of man, this was a very glorious kingdom. Full of opportunity, full of liberty, full of chances, dreams of success and making it and becoming a millionaire and saving your family from being a refugee in wars in your country to come into America, putting your kids through college, having a white picket fence, putting an American flag on your porch. Everybody at one time wanted that American dream. Everybody marveled at it. They fancied it. The idea of being an American, coming here and prospering. And this was a glorious kingdom. But now the Most High said, shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So the shameful spewing is all of the dirt, sins, and confusion being revealed to expose this kingdom for being a vile, detestable, demonic work. So the Most High is actually, again, showing you that what you see going on through these Epstein files and these different events, not only is it a spirit of reincarnation or regeneration, should I say, that there's no new thing under the sun, seeing that Tiberius Caesar did these things, but it's also prophecy. And we have to understand and realize that this is from the hand of God. And this isn't the government that did this. This is not the Department of Justice. This is not Homeland Security. This is not the Israelis who are coercing Trump. This is the Most High. All power and glory belongs to Yahweh Ba'ashmi Awashad. Every dream that these heathen kings couldn't reveal, the Most High revealed it. Joseph said this thing comes from God. When Daniel had to reveal Nebuchadnezzar's dream, he said this belonged to the Most High. The secret things, Moses said it, they belong to the Most High. So anything coming to light, give honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Awashad. He's the one showing you and his prophecies through the apostles and prophets that he spoke of these things from before you, so you can come back to him, right? Let's get that in Daniel, and we're going to wind down. Let's go to Daniel, the second chapter. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse number, let's start at Daniel 2 and 21, right? I'm going to start at 20. Daniel chapter 2 and 20. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of Yahweh Ba'ashmi Awashai forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his, and he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. And the light dwelleth with him, man. So Daniel gave credit to the Most High. We're going to give credit to the Most High for revealing the wicked, man. And then you got people wondering, what about my favorite celebrity? What about, hey, he's involved, man. He was involved in some form or fashion. Well, not my favorite rapper, not my politician. They're all connected. They're all connected. Hate to break it to you, they're all in cahoots. They've all been to Vila Jovis. They've all been to Capri Island. They're all connected with the powers that be. And the Most High said, let me get Ephesians 6. Let's get this. Not my favorite rapper, please. Let it not be my favorite celebrity. Hey, look, man. You have to wake up from this illusion and realize that they've all sold their soul to the spiritual demon Satan. Everybody's been involved. If you're not in this truth, you've been compromised by Satan in some form or fashion. You've been compromised. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse number 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So yes, we're wrestling and fighting against demons, sorcerers, warlocks, wicked elites of the Cabal, Amalek in his high places, and all these demons. This is nothing but a reinvention of Capri Island. I'm going to read this again. It was called the Perversion Palace. From 26 AD to 37 AD, Roman Emperor Tiberius famously retired to the island of Capri, abandoning the administration of the empire and Rome to his advisors. And he went to what they call the Perversion Palace. The Perversion Palace on Capri. Tiberius, again, Tiberius is the ruling emperor during the reign of Yahushua in Luke, the 3rd chapter. So there was a lot of heavy spiritual wickedness when Yahushua was on the scene, you know? On Capri, Tiberius is alleged by ancient historians like Suetonius to have engaged in extreme, sadistic, and sexual depravity at his Vila Jovis. Accounts claim he trained young children, so he was dealing with young children, to sexually fondle him in the bath. He forced aristocratic women into prostitution. He was murdering them, and invented tortures where he would tie ligatures around the victims' genitals to prevent urination. Due to his behavior, he was referred to as an old goat, not a sheep. He was referred to as an old goat. No new thing under the sun. It's time to come back to the Most High, man. You have been shown and revealed to you by Yahweh Bashmi that everybody's compromised. The people that you thought you believed in, your favorite rapper, your favorite musician, your favorite politician, your favorite president, your favorite prime minister, no matter how great their campaign was, how great their music is, how great their speeches were, they have been compromised by the spiritual demon Satan and world elites. So who are you going to go to now? Where are you going to go? It's time to come back to the Most High, Yahweh Bashma Mashak Wamalak Yabashah, where justice and true judgment belongs unto him, where you get true security, true peace, and true sanctification. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashma Mashak Wamalak Yabashah. Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yashalom. Shalom.